as I inquire into the experience that you've pointed us to and guided us into tonight, and maybe my question actually doesn't matter, but anyhow, it's here, so I'm going to ask it. It seems like, in my experience, this present moment awareness has a quality of being a dependent arising.
Has the quality of being
a dependent arising.
A dependent arising. Can you elucidate a little more on what you mean by this?
Okay, the best way for me to do that, because without getting hung up on words, right, is yes, I can rest in beingness, and I can find peace, and actually enough. I can find enough in my awareness, and yet it's like then sometimes I go to a still point, and that feels different to awareness. So the question is, there's a still point which feels different to me than present moment awareness, which is wonderful. It's much better than being in a constant state of distraction and all that. And yet there's a still point that doesn't feel like it's dependent on anything.
Exactly.
So there is a difference.
Exactly. However, present moment awareness creates the space in which you can encounter that stillness that you speak of. And that is then beyond definition. It isn't present moment, time oriented. It isn't this or that. It's not awareness itself. It's pure. Then we depart words. We depart the capacity to describe it or explain it. And that's what the yogis are pointing to. That's what I'm referring to when I comment the necessity for us to regain conscious access. So that's what I'm pointing to. It's deeper than present moment awareness.
Yeah.
Because as I commented earlier, typically present moment awareness is still occupying subject, object. You are aware of some things still. However, that's the bridge that we have to cross to enter a different dimension compared to what we perceive, what we are aware of, right? So what happens when you access that? What happens for you when you encounter this stillness? What happens?
Nothing happens. I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Exactly. And that is the irony, is that everyone is imagining that getting to that stillness is a something, an event, as if it's somehow different from what we already are. It's out there, it's more, and it's not. It's none of what we think it is at all. And the only way we can know that is by being that experience. That's the only way.
So as a practitioner, as someone who wants to cultivate more of this in my life, I can't force the stillness, right?
Funny about that.
Okay. I can allow it, right?
Right.
Or create the conditions for it to be present, right? And I'll just oscillate constantly from...
Yeah. And does that matter? Does it actually matter
no,
that...
it doesn't
No,
now.
it doesn't.
Until I get exhausted sometimes because I've been too distracted, but then it's there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So just let that process
Yeah.
just kind of keep happening.
Yeah. And of course, why we thirst for that and why we want to cultivate more of that experience. And there's the dichotomy, isn't it? Because on the one hand, you know, you can't force it, you can't make it happen. You can only allow or be in a space in which you encounter it. And that's the irony, is that we go about committing ourselves to certain intentions that will help create that space to encounter that. And yet it always is. That's the irony of it. There's an appearing dichotomy in this journey, this so-called spiritual journey. And that doesn't matter. Because we are being the whole experience. You know, all too often people say, oh, well, so if we are that and it is, then what's the point of me sitting and meditating, or blah, 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 blah. Because we engaging is part of that phenomenon of actually being that awareness or that experience, the underlying awareness. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah,